The views on a Breath of Fresh Air podcast reflects the parties involved, and we encourage you all to use it as a conversational tool that will lead to personal studies of your own.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Welcome to a Breath of Fresh Air podcast. Here with your hosts, Earl Roberts and Nakhaz Gay. As a young person, Christianity can be so foggy, like smoke in the mirrors and so unclear. But we're here to bring you a breath of fresh air. I have heard many things like these, you miserable comforters, all of you. Will your long-winded speeches ever end? What ails you that you keep on arguing? I also could speak like you. If I were in my place, I could make fine speeches against you and shake my head at you. But my mouth would encourage you. Comfort from my lips would bring you relief. Yet, if I speak, my pain is not relieved. And if I refrain, it does not go away. Surely, God, you have worn me out. You have devastated my entire household. You have shriveled me up and it become a witness. My godness rises up and testifies against me. God assails me and tears me in his anger and gnashes his teeth at me. My opponent fastens on me his piercing eyes. People open their mouths and jeer at me. They strike my cheek in scorn and unite together against me. God has turned me over to the ungodly and thrown me into the clutches of the wicked. All was well with me, but he shattered me. He seized me by the neck and crushed me. He has made me his target, and archers surround me. Without pity, he pierces my kidneys and spills my gall on the ground. Again and again, he bursts upon me. He rushes at me like a warrior. I have sewn sackcloth over my skin. I have buried my brow in the dust. My face is red with weeping. Dark shadows ring my eyes. Yet my hands have been free of violence and my prayer is pure. Earth, do not cover my blood. May my cry never be laid to rest. Even now my witness is in heaven. My advocate is on high. My intercessor is my friend. As my eyes pour out tears to God, on behalf of man, he pleads with God as one pleads for a friend. Only a few years will pass before I take the path of no return. In today's episode, we journey deeper into Job's raw and honest dialogue with God. As Job wrestles with the fleeting nature of life, his friends offer shallow counsel. But Job's heart remains fixed on seeking answers from the Almighty. Tune in as we explore the tension between despair and hope and what these chapters reveal about the endurance of faith and longing for redemption. As always, be blessed and enjoy. All right, welcome back to another episode of a Breath of Fresh Air podcast. Here with your hosts,
Nakhaz Gay.
and Earl Roberts. All right, how's your week been?
Week was okay, man. I can't say that anything in particular stands out. I am glad for the Sabbath. Last Sabbath, I just still had so much work to do. It was like just weighing on my mind. It ain't often that I'm not able to disconnect, but by the grace of God, I make sure that didn't happen this week. I make sure I come into the Sabbath with an empty slate so that I could definitely be able to rest and relax, But how was your week?
Boy, my week was draining.
Oh, man.
My
Sorry
week
to hear
was draining, bro. I work until like 9 o'clock on Wednesday, 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Come yesterday and today, boy, I was like, boy, Lord, I hanging in here by feet.
Boy.
Some days when you're just like so mentally, like just your brain just tired. Like physically, you fine.
Mm-hmm.
But mentally, it's like, bro, to just to think about what to eat what I should make to eat just got your head hurting. But
Yeah. I feel you, bro.
but through it all, but God bring you through. So, you know, he don't give you more than you could bear. That's what
That's
they
true,
say.
bro. And it's amazing how we react to stress, you know. Because, bro, if I really struggling to do something, everything irritates me more. You know what I mean? Like I can be struggling to do something and someone called me and I'm mad they called me, right?
Like, you already know I'm busy right now.
Exactly. Mind you, I can easily just not answer, you know. I can easily just mute it and keep going about my business, but that even irritate me, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. Like when I just could feel when my body is getting stressed.
Mhm.
But and then like true when I was working, like, I didn't really get my exercise in too, which is usually like my like stress outlet too. So it's like oh, everything just inside, and I couldn't go to the gym or wasn't walking. It was like or jogging. It was like just everything was just pent up. I was like, okay. Yesterday made sure I was able to go walking and stuff on today. So God is good, man. God is good.
Amen.
All right. So actually, like you want to do Psalms or Proverbs? I actually had a next thought where we could talk about.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
It's actually semi-related, right? But I was listening to a famous hymn that we all know this week, right? It as well. And I sure like everyone know this hymn. But like the story behind this hymn is so interesting, right? Because it's sometimes it's always like be in my mind, like what inspired the author or the songwriter to write these words, and like what was they going through, right? Because like we see in Psalms some of the things David was going through when we look back at First and Second Samuel, right? We could see like the state of what David was going through in his time of trouble when he was with the Philistines and when he slept with Bathsheba, and like you know like his repentant heart. Like we could go back and see what he was going through, but so it was written by Horatio Spafford, right? And it's interesting. This guy almost had like a Job-like experience, bro.
Oh, really?
Bro, it's so interesting, right? So he wrote this song in he wrote this song in 1873. But let me tell you a little bit about his life, right? So he lived in Chicago, right? Joseph Spafford, Horatio Gates Spafford lived in Chicago, right? And then, man, I know people know about the Great Chicago Fire that happened way back in the day. It was in the Great Chicago Fire was in 1871. So this guy was a real estate investor and a lawyer. And so during the Great Chicago Fire in 1871, he lost a lot of his holdings. Right? So he lost a lot of his holdings and destroying most of his investment. He was also friends with a pastor, Dwight L. Moody. So like 2 years after the fire in 1873, his family planned a trip to Europe, right? Because his friend D.L. Moody was actually preaching in England. So something like a lawsuit or something was happening, some zoning issues was happening based on conflagration that he couldn't go initially with his family on this trip, right? So he say, hey, we going through some hard times, but y'all go ahead. I'll catch up with you guys in England like in a week or two, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, bro, while his family was going across the pond, sailing the Atlantic, their ship hit like another sailing ship or something.
I had a feeling something like that.
All four of his daughters died.
Oh.
All four of his daughters died. And then his wife survived and she ended up making it to Wales. And she sent a telegraph back to him saying, saved alone. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So now this man has to hop on a ship and goes to go to his wife, right? And while they were sailing back across the Atlantic, the captain of the ship said, hey, this is like essentially where the accident would have happened, where your daughters died. And there on the ship is when he started to pen the words to "It Is Well With My Soul."
Oh, that's crazy.
And so just think about this now. Like, again, you already went through some financial hardships. Bro, and all your children die. And only your wife live. This song is very Jobish to me.
It definitely do.
It's song is very Jobish to me. And then like think about it now. You in the middle of the ocean, you saying, bro, when peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. And now that gives that like it gives that first opening stand so much more meaning. Because now you have a man who in the deepest part of his sorrows and saying, bro, whatever my lot, you have taught me to say it as well with my soul.
Hmm.
Almost reminds me of last week's episode when Job said, though he slay me, yet will I trust him.
Trust them, yeah.
Oh my. And then like I was sad to think about it, like, bro, I mean, I ain't a father yet, right? But I'm like, yo, just being like a husband and a father. You wanted to be there for your family in the time when they needed you most, bro. You was there to protect them.
Boy, and it just be such an airy feeling when it's like, what you say he was? He was a real estate
Invest and I think
investor.
like a part business lawyer, something like that. Yeah.
So, and that's my thing. So, like, you work hard to diversify yourself or to be able to put bread on the table. Circumstances beyond your control stop that from happening. You see what I'm saying? You try to, do your best to get back on your feet, and then tragedy strike you. And it's like, bro, I was trying, but and these things beyond my control, you know what I mean, brought hardship to me, Like I do, like in theory, I did what I was supposed to do to provide for my family. But it was things that was out of my hand, out of my control that led to, devastation. And that's,
Hey,
I
bro.
don't know, that's a
And I
sad
try to give
reality.
y'all like a little vacation so y'all could kind of even forget about some of the hard times we going through here. And I still got business deal with by saying, you know what, I ain't what harm put a feeling. Y'all still go ahead. And you like, bro, I tell y'all to go ahead too, bro. I might as well tell y'all to stay.
Yeah, they would have been better off staying.
we could go in a week or two, but man, like I can just imagine things that was really running through his mind at that point, bro. Like, man, I should have told him to go. I mean, I should have told him to stay. I should have just gone. Like, but man, oh
I think
man.
that's natural thoughts
Of course.
that you would think.
Of course. It's like, and then the second stanza, though Satan should buffet, though trials should come, let this blessed assurance control that Christ had gathered my helpless estate and has shed his own blood for my soul.
You know
So
what I used to
then
wonder though?
go for it.
I used to wonder how people used to remember melodies. Because if you think about it, bro, if you don't record the melody, like let's say you sing a tune, dun, 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 that's all right. You wake up tomorrow, you rely on your memory to bring that exact thing, and it ain't no guarantee that that's the same melody as yesterday. You know what I mean?
So I think someone put this to music later, but I was like, my question would be like, when would music, well, because they have the year when the music, they actually put it to music like three years later.
Okay.
So he wrote the words, and who knows, he might have been singing it. Someone actually put the melody to it like 3 years later in 1876. But I'm like, when was like the actual musical scale invented? Like as we know it today. That would be a good.
That probably is invented very long. That probably is invented from.
So I mean, they might have just been like, all right, cool. This could be this note. This could be.
If you're playing, yes. If you can, because if you're playing, you can remember. I go C, B, D, A, or whatever. You just a pattern, right? But I'm just trying to say, like, to rely on memory. It's one thing you can remember lyrics, like, but to remember melodies, that to me that's kind of crazy. But like sometimes I make a song, right? So when I'm making music, you just freestyling, bro. I would be recording, right? I would record what I think a chorus would be, go through what I think the verse is gonna be. By the time I make it back to that chorus, I don't even remember the precise way it was before. I realized, I doing it different. It's like when you remember, like when people doing ring play and they might be clapping, right? And everybody going, then you notice over time it start to get even more faster and faster and faster and faster. That it's like this tempo, we actually can't sustain this tempo because it's going too fast, But nobody noticed that they was going incrementally faster each round, But yeah, I know that was just a little weird thought of mine.
But yeah, man. So I don't know. Like it's pretty interesting just to hear the thought and the emotion behind a famous hymn, because I know a lot of these hymns that we sing in church on a weekly basis, they actually have like a lot of meaning behind them. Not to say that the new songs don't have meaning behind them, but a lot of these older ones definitely have meaning behind them.
But I think it actually is it's a classic hymn. I know we's beat that bad in the Bahamas. Bro.
Oh yeah, boy.
And I like when they when we sing it in the Bahamas, like they just be out of breath. You know what I mean? Like, they really just be begging when they sing that song.
Boy, don't let the singing bishop get it.
That's what I said. That's what I think about. I just can't remember who it was. Yeah, no. Carry on by
Singing
with that
bishop,
one.
boy.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's a powerful testimony, bro. And it just goes to show that, how powerful, the Lord is to sustain you, through the roughest of times,
Boy, God bless them, boy, because Lord knows I don't want to experience grief like that.
Bro, I mean, neither,
That's
bro.
enough to send you crazy.
I agree. But by the grace of God, by the grace of God.
Yeah, bro. All right. So, yes, that was this week's thought or proverb psalm standing. So last week we did a couple of verses. We did Job. Where did we start from?
I think we started from 11 so far.
11.
Yeah.
I think we started from the one before so far. Either way, we think we did like 10 to 12.
Oh, yeah.
10 to like 13 last
We
week.
started with Job, yeah. 10, yeah.
Yeah. And Zophar was a little bit more blunt with Job. Zophar really did get spicy. And Zophar essentially told Job, bro, all of this stuff you complaining for, bro, you ain't even getting as much punishment as you actually deserve for all of your sins and transgressions. And needless to say, Job is not pleased with that response. Job essentially tell them, like, bro, all of y'all wisdom should just, like, if you all really had wisdom, y'all would just be silent.
Be quiet.
Just be quiet.
That's the only way to show y'all true wisdom, if you just don't talk.
Oh my. But I mean, long story short, not to drawing it out, but like if we essentially what we've been seeing so far is Job again is now pleading his innocence, trying to figure out ways that he could actually bring his case before God, trying to convince his friends that, yo, I truly did not sin. I truly did not lie. And his friends all so far up to this point have been saying, okay, Job, you saying this, but what we seeing does not match what you seeing, because surely God does not punish innocent people.
Mm.
And again, this is like we mentioned this before in previous episodes, but the book of Job is kind of dealing with how do you respond to God in your suffering? Like we see in Job is questioning, trying to understand, but it's like what is our response going to be? Got anything to say?
Yeah.
Go for it.
No, yeah, I mean, just to recap on last episode, one thing that I noticed that's a pattern between Job and Zophar and I guess his friends is that they keep telling each other, like I'll be saying to Bahamas, bro, you ain't making no sense, bro. Or like you dumb, bro. Like I ain't trying to say like they saying it bluntly like that, but Zophar trying to tell him your wisdom is false, bro. Like your wisdom ain't that, right? So we see that in whatever chapter that was with Zophar, chapter 11, right? And then in chapter 12, Job rebuts. He say, no doubt you are my people and wisdom will die with you, but I have understanding as well. You know what I'm saying? I am not inferior to you. So like it become like an intellectual thing between them two. And I guess Job versus his friends, it become like, bro, you ain't wise, bro. Y'all not talking like you like. Then that's what each of them telling each other. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you ain't wise. No, you ain't wise. That's what it coming down to. And one thing that's kind of like, it's kind of hard for me to dissect this book because as we go through it, I'm thinking about sermons to write, but some of it is hard because sometimes I want to write a sermon using Zophar and the friends as my key text. Because they might say a gem that I feel like, yeah, bro, like I agree with you. But we know in conclusion, God leaned more towards Job than to Zophar, right? So I feel like, it might be good points and bad points on either side, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they still have an existential, well, not really existential, but a philosophical
like a
conversation
philosophical and theological debate, right? Because
on
sorry, you
God.
finished?
No, on God. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, because again, like to even further expound on your point, right? All of his friends essentially want him to repent so he could be restored.
Mm-hmm.
Like his friends, even at the end of their speeches, was like, "Yo, if you do X, Y, and Z, God will restore you. You repent. We know the type of God we serve, right?" So again, it's like we telling you to do this so you could get back to life as normal, and we don't have to be under this tree mourning. So it's like they doing all of this for Job's good, but like, especially in last episode, we were saying that he trying to explain why Job so wants to prove his innocence because he did nothing wrong that deserves this. And so it's like, I really need to clear my name right now because that's one of the most important things to me because I don't lose my health. I don't lose my family. My wife didn't tell me curse God and die. Like the only thing I have right now is to clear my name so that y'all know I did not sin.
Yeah, but if you let Zophar tell it,
But
we ain't
you
get
ain't get
enough with you. You
so far
know?
say, bro, this guy is diabolical,
Oh,
bro.
but let's think. But I don't want to hop on that because
Go
y'all
for it.
y'all want to know our points. We
No,
talked about this last episode.
go
But
for it.
bro, how is it wrong if someone say God has been merciful to you? If you think about it, bro, you know what I mean? I think that is so like on brand with sermons that I've heard all my life. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know if it's true or false. That's why I say certain things I listen and agree with, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, Job didn't deserve what he was going through, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do we ever think there's a time when God just emptied a clip on us, bro? And just like, or on anyone? And just like, bro, you getting everything you deserve. Or do we think that God is a God of mercy? Because
He is a
I
God
feel
of mercy and long suffering.
that's just how I feel though. I just feel like even through the bad, I I feel like I incline to believe that, you know, God still protect you from some things. And I understand the flaw in that nature. Because how you tell somebody who just lost it all, by God, could he even do you wasted that? You know what I mean? Like
But
that.
the thing about it, the Job perspective too, right? Job is like, bro, you don't understand me. The thing that worse than this is what I want right
That's
now.
what I want.
Because
So that don't
Job
even
didn't
make
acknowledge
sense logically.
Job didn't acknowledge, bro. The only reason why I ain't dying is because of your hedge of protection right now. I want you to remove your hedge of protection because the only thing worse than this is death, and that's what I want because I can be out of my suffering.
So,
So Job like,
yeah, bro.
no, I want that.
But the more I read this book, the more I feel like I question how deeply should one even try to think about God? Because obviously we ain't gonna know everything. Some things I think is, you know, good to know, but where do you stop, bro? Because you're gonna make implications based on your understanding of God. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, some people that say he'll never give you more than you can bear, right? I know pastors who, but they'll get mad right now they hear somebody say that. They're like, wait, why would make you think that? God, he usually gives you more than you can bear because it ain't more than he can bear. But it's just, it's times when it's going to be more than you can bear. You see what I'm saying? Because anyway, I ain't got to explain it, but people, there's some euphemisms or misms, anyway, that people say all the time to make light of something that it might be, you know, a hard pill to swallow. So they say this thing in a way, it's like, okay, this kind of pacifies the situation, right? But it's like we began to consider this to be a law. You know what I mean? Like in math, there's laws that you follow in math. You know what I'm saying? When something should be a theory. Oh, I theorize that God does not act like this. Job and his friends, they speaking as if it's law. All of them are speaking like that. And it's baffling Job's friends because these new laws that Job is telling him, is telling them, is like unlike anything anyone has ever heard. So they see it as, bro, you really be just being rebellious, bro. You being rebellious, you know? And so, yeah.
And to your point, but like, who can truly understand God? Like that's a question right there, right? Because again, like if we just go back to the beginning, a lot of people can't even rationalize why would God even allow this to happen. Like, why would God permit this to happen to someone who he already said is so
Upright.
upright and blessed and blameless in this generation? Because think about it. That right alone is like, but you allowing this to happen?
And this would the blameless ones go through? How that don't sound right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, like, bro, Job is I love Job, bro. It's like, it's an awesome, like, thought experiment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one thing I want clear, because I know I even, like, just took it out of context technically. But if you go back to 1 Corinthians 10, the text really talks about temptation when he's talking about, like, God doesn't give you more than you can bear. It doesn't really talk about, like, burdens for real.
You know, I get what you're saying, but I trying to say that's a phrase we just...
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I just saying it for the context of the podcast.
Yeah, I get you.
So someone don't, people with the little Twitter fingers come back at us,
You said da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
So, that used to bother me a lot, but I think I grew out of that. Well, in a way, I can say fully. But another one, like even if we used to swap that out, like people would say, oh, God gives his biggest battles to his strongest soldiers type situation, People would say that to comfort you, like you going through a lot. Oh no, but God give his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. And so like people in our generation, they start making jokes saying, next year I don't want to be on God toughest soldier list. Put me on the weak soldier list. You know what I mean? I tired of fighting all these hard battles type of hype, but
and as soon as they do it, they can be like, well, God used Gideon, so
that's true too. So it's multifaceted, but yeah. So now we get to see Job. He's in the middle of a rant. So for the sake of time, we ended the podcast. But Job is in the middle of his response to Zophar and friends. You know what I'm saying, in chapter 14. So that's where we pick him back up from.
All right. Man who was born of woman is of his days and full of trouble. He comes forth like a flower and fades away. He flees like a shadow and does not continue. And do you open your eyes on such a one and bring me to judgment with yourself? Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? No one. Since his days are numbered.
No one.
Since his days are determined, the number of his months is with you. You have appointed his limits so that he cannot pass. Look away from him that he may rest. Tell like a hired man, he finishes his day. For there is hope for a tree. If it is cut down, that it will sprout again, and that its tender shoots will not cease. Though its root may grow old in the earth, and its stump may die in the ground, yet at the scent of water it will bud, and bring forth branches like a plant. But a man dies and is laid away. Indeed, he breathes his last. And where is he? As water disappears from the sea, and a river becomes parched and dries up, so a man lays down and does not rise, till the heavens are no more. They will not awake, nor be roused up from their sleep. Mercy. My boy said.
So you see, but I just saying, bro.
Go for it.
Huh?
No, go for it.
No. Sorry, you trying to out nice guy each other? It's so funny because Job, he has a consistent idea of the state of the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one could easily argue, oh, this is poetic language, right? But you see Job saying, bro, so man lies down and does not rise till the heavens are no more. They will not awake nor be roused from their sleep. You see, this is like the third time Job referenced death in a way that was like, you're not coming back type situation. Bro. You know what I mean?
A week will make me chuckle when I was reading this. My boy said, he essentially just say, bro, a tree has more hope than a man. He said the stump will be there. You're taking this tree dead. It smell water.
Start to sprout
and it starts to bud again. But if a man breathes his last breath and he is laid down, that's it.
That's a wrap.
That's it. Don't tell me.
That's a wrap.
Don't tell me you see your uncle peeping through the window and he done dead. No, he gone.
Yeah, but and that's the thing though, because like, when we go Old Testament, when we go Old Testament, you know, it actually, in my opinion, it cut and dry. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And David slept with his fathers, and this one slept with his fathers. You know, we see that all through Kings, Samuel, etc. Right? Job, we see that again. Now we can get to Ecclesiastes. Now it's a text that Adventists we love. The dead know nothing. You see what I'm saying? But it's also text that people use in Ecclesiastes that say your soul this and that. You know what I mean? But you can still see me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's telling me my internet unstable, but okay, yeah. So, but at the end of the day, I'm saying that generally the way people react to death, to the state of the dead,
Mm-hmm.
to me it affirms that the understanding is that you do not die and go straight to heaven. You understand what I'm saying? Because this man saying, bro, the man dead and tell the heaven is no more, like tell the end of days. I don't even know if Job was aware of the resurrection or anything like that, but he know when you're dead, but that's it for
That's
you.
it, buddy.
You catch what I
That's
saying?
it. You will not
And my
go for it.
no,
Oh,
go on, go on.
keep going. I have really important to say.
But I just like, bro, the one thing that has a little bit of credence, if misunderstood, is when Saul visited the prophet, the quote unquote prophet Samuel. I want to make it clear that that was not actually Samuel. The Bible does not say it was actually Samuel, and Saul was actually killed. When we read Chronicles, it says that Saul died because he visited enchanter or whatever. But they also say because he disobeyed God and because he visited a woman, that enchanter woman. He was put to death for this thing. This thing is not right. You know, there's text in the Old Testament that say stuff like, don't suffer a witch to live, you know, stuff like that. And when it comes to like necromancy, you know, talking to the dead, like talking to spirits and stuff like that, it depends on who you ask, bro. But I know my people back home, but a lot of people generally believe that they can see their passed away loved ones. You know what I mean? I had a relative of mine, but I love him to death, bro. I lost him last year, bro. My cousins and I, they was talking, and often I would hear someone say, "Cuz ain't visit me yet." You know what I mean? Or I waiting for him, or he visit me in my dream, this and that and the third. You see what I saying? And I could be real with you. I ain't like Zophar now. I ain't coming to tell you, boy, no, that was a demon. You know what I mean? I let you mourn. You see what I saying? I let you mourn, bro. We can talk about it later when I think it's an opportune time. You see what I saying? But I ain't trying to, you know, be like that. But in terms of the state of the dead, when it comes to Job, Job is speaking from the perspective that when you die, that's it for you. You see what I said? He ain't looking down on me. You ain't coming back to visit me. You ain't a ghost. It's a lot of philosophies, you know, but that's his.
Yeah. That's definitely. People have a lot of theories about what happens after you die. And boy, you hear them all.
And it's funny because none of us can prove it. You see what I said?
That's the thing about it, bro.
The best thing we can do is say what the Bible say and give an argument for why you believe what you believe, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, anyway, I just seen we should have an episode just for that, but this ain't the episode.
Yeah.
All right, verse 13. Oh, that you would hide me in the grave, that you would conceal me until your wrath has passed, that you would appoint me a set time and remember me. If a man dies, shall he live again? All the days of my hard service I will wait, till my change comes. You shall call, and I will answer you. You shall desire the work of your hands. For now you remember my steps, but do not watch over my sin. My transgression is sealed up in a bag, and you cover my iniquity. But as a mountain falls and crumbles away, and as a rock is moved from its place, as water wears away stones, and as torrents wash away the soil of the earth, so you destroy the hope of man. You prevail forever against him, and he passes on. You change his countenance and send him away. His sons come to honor, and he does not know it. They have brought low, and he does not perceive it. But his flesh will be in pain over it, and his soul will forever mourn it. Will mourn over it.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Because in the same breath, I could see someone making an argument saying, "Oh, see, his soul will mourn over it, right?" But if we read the text right before it, and I never actually read this text from the state of a dead perspective, only those other texts early that we spoke about. But it says his sons come to honor, and he does not know it. You see what I'm saying? They are brought low, and he does not perceive it. You see what I'm saying? And you couple this with the text in Ecclesiastes, the dead know nothing. I think this aligns, this checks out, bro. You do not know it. You're not going to know it. You know what I mean? And yeah. Yeah, so one thing with Job though, I think Job is very candid when it comes to God. Like I think Job, I believe that this is still him being righteous, but I don't think he holding back. I think he's speaking his mind.
Bro,
You
the
know what I
man
mean?
said, like, what, two chapters ago, bro, he is going to speak from the depths of his sorrow.
Yep. He definitely said that.
And yeah, that's what Job is doing right now. He letting it out because the man has questions. The man is in pain. He's in agony, and again, he's still wrestling with the idea of why me? Why is this happening to me? And again, if my transgression is so bad that you are accusing me of, even though I feel like I'm innocent, why do you have me here going through the pain? Why not just kill me?
Yeah.
So now verse 15, our good friend Eliphaz.
Making a second appearance.
Yeah, boy. And again, you got to picture the context, right? They all here sitting under this tree. So I'm hearing this again. I heard Bildad went for it. I heard Zophar went for it. I heard your rebuttals. I am here still formulating my thoughts. And I'm like, okay. Now let me come back and give you a next piece.
Yeah, let me finish what I started.
Because a lot has been said since I had the mic last.
Oh, yeah.
So Eliphaz, the Temanite, answered and said, should a wise man answer with empty knowledge? Woo!
Straight up. You see what I'm saying? Like that, like it's like wisdom comes into question. Like when they get to talking, bro. Like
yes, sir. Should a wise man answer with empty knowledge and fill himself up with the east wind? Should he reason with unprofitable talk, or by speeches which he can do no good? Yes, you cast off fear and restrain prayer before God. For your iniquity teaches your mouth, and you choose the tongue of the crafty. Your own mouth condemns you, and not I. Yes, your own lips testify against you. My boy say, you are talking reckless, Job. You are talking reckless. Now you was thinking about, I was accusing you. Think about all the stuff you just say, buddy. How, to your point, Kazi, how does this make sense? Your own lips making you a sinner now, buddy.
right. So remember when David was in the cave, and the Amalekite come to him and say, "Yeah, but Saul dead." And Job and David was like, "How you know Saul dead?" He's like, "Yeah, but I was running past and he was half dead, and he tell me, boy, come finish him off." And David said, "Well, so you kill him?" And he said, "Yeah." He said, "Your own lips testify against you," right? So, like to me, when I hear those lines, I hear you just confess to a crime just now, right? So now remember what we just was saying. I was just saying Job was giving full vent to his thoughts on God, right? And I was giving him the benefit of doubt, like, yo, you still being righteous. Eliphaz does not. Eliphaz listens to this and say, bro, you just admitting to me that you are a sinner. You hear all them stuff you say, but you really proving my point right now. So they not receiving anything Job is saying. Everything they hear is just proving to them that Job is really as sinful as his punishment leads him out to be.
Bro, like, if I was saying, bro, all these eloquent speeches, but they ain't doing you no good. You tell us we must be silent, but you doing this ain't helping your case.
I just
you
want to
go before God but with this? Come on, cuz. Come on.
Eliphaz didn't like when he was what Job was saying, bro. When he was saying, but y'all might as well have been quiet because that's the only way y'all could have been wise. And he's like, hold on now. Should a wise man answer with empty knowledge? Like they just going tit for tat now. Oh man.
Oh my. But what Eliphaz say? But the prayer.
What was you the first man who ever born? Or?
No. In verse 4.
Verse 4.
Yes, you cast off fear and restrain prayer before God. Mercy. Mercy. What do you think that mean from your perspective?
I don't really, I ain't really sure. I could be honest with you. You have any thoughts on that?
I think it's just interesting because like you don't really know anyone's like personal prayer life, right? So you don't really know what Job really saying where it's just him and God. Like me, like right now the man, again, giving full vent to his anger, right? Which sounds to your point, from Eliphaz's perspective, he doesn't agree with what Job is saying. And to him, it's probably bordering on that line of blasphemousness. But whereas Job is just earnestly questioning God. But again, I like how we clarified it what 2 chapters ago, bro. Yet though he slay me, yet I still trust him. Like, y'all, don't get it twisted. Like, I still going through this. I ain't disrespecting God. I ain't turning back on my God. And I still trust in God even through all this struggle. But what y'all accusing me of, I ain't do. Now, I don't know how I can explain that to y'all because I know the stock against me. That's the only way. That's the reason why I'm trying to say, but I got to take my case directly to God. But again, who am I like to go against God? Like, like when he was submitting his model, it's like, bro, I go against God, like the deck stock against me. How am I as a model man could argue with God, who could do all these things? Will he even like listen to my case? And that's why Job is pleading, oh, that I might have a mediator who can mediate for me.
Job bringing out every alternative too. You know, he like, bro, will he answer me? Or and if he don't answer me, can I speak to him? You know what I mean? Like,
like, will he hear me? All right. So now verse 7. Are you the first man who was born? Or or were you made before the hills? Have you heard the counsel of God? Do you limit wisdom to yourself? What do you know that we do not know? What do you understand that is not in us? Both the gray-haired and the aged are among us, much older than your father.
mercy.
Are the consolations of God too small for you? And the word spoken gently with you? Why does your heart carry you away? And what do your eyes wink at? That you turn your spirit against God and let such words go out of your mouth. What is man that he could be pure? And he who is born of a woman that he could be righteous. If God puts no trust in his saints and the heavens are not pure in his sight, how much less man who is abominable and filthy, who drinks iniquity like water. I will tell you, hear me. What I have seen, I will declare. What wise men have told, not hiding anything received from their fathers, to whom alone the land was given, and no alien passed among them. The wicked man writhes in pain all his days, and the number of his years is hidden from the oppressor. Dreadful sounds are in his ears. In prosperity, the destroyer comes upon him. He does not believe that he will return from darkness, for his sword is waiting for him. He wanders about for bread, saying, where is it? And he knows that the day of darkness is ready at hand. Trouble and anguish make him afraid. They overpower him like a king ready for battle. For he stretches out his hand against God and acts defiantly against the Almighty, running stubbornly against him with his strong embossed shield. Let me just finish it out.
Yeah.
Though he has covered his face with his fatness and has made his waist heavy with fat, he dwells in desolate cities, in houses which no one inhabits, which are destined to become ruins. He will not be rich, nor will his wealth continue, nor will his possessions overspread the earth. No, he will not depart from darkness. The flame will dry out his branches, and by the breath of his mouth he will go away. Let him not trust in futile things, deceiving himself. For futility will be his reward, and he will be accomplished before his time, and his branch will not be green. He will shake off his unripe grape like a vine, and cast off his blossom like an olive tree. For the company of hypocrites will be barren, and fire will consume the tents of bribery. They conceive trouble and bring forth futility. Their womb prepares deceit.
So that's what I was trying to say when I was thinking about writing a sermon from Job. Some things I just do not agree with. So now that's the opposite side. Because some things I agree with, and it might probably wrong. Some things I just do not agree with, right? So, verse 14. What is man that he could be pure, and he who was born of a woman that he could be righteous? To me, that's wrong. That's inconsistent with the Bible. So purity, probably, because to me, purity implies that you never was tainted, right? Only Jesus do that, right? Good. But he who was born of a woman that could be righteous, it just depends. You know what I mean? Because ain't it a text that say none are righteous, no, not one. But I don't know the context of that. But I can tell you for a fact, when we go through Hebrews, is it Hebrews? I think it's like Hebrews. Anyway, we go through all these people who's righteous. They even called Samson, my boy. They even call him righteous. You say saying they talk about Abraham. This was credited as righteousness. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like Eliphaz is saying, bro, who really is righteous? And I just like, but I don't know, bro. I don't know that's fact, bro. Like I think you get a little beside yourself now, and you kind of you actually proving Job right. You know what I mean? And then he goes on to say, what do you say? But heaven, if God puts no trust in his saints, and the heavens are not pure in his sight, what are you talking about, bro? Like, do you mean heavens as in the stars? Or do you mean angels?
I think you got to be meaning the angels.
Yeah, but if you mean angels, you got to qualify that, bro. Tell me you mean fallen angels, bro.
Yeah.
Don't tell me you mean angels. You see what I'm saying? Like, and so like even now, I just feel like it's like the train of thought that gives credence to our righteousness, our filthy rags, right? Y'all know how I feel. If y'all haven't heard me say this before, I believe that text is vastly out of context. Why? Because it's a verse. It's like a 3 or 4 sentence verse, and only one part of the verse is quoted. They don't say we have become like an unclean thing, or we have become unclean, and our righteousness are filthy rags. They don't put that preface there, because if you put we have become unclean, that proves that we weren't always like that, which proves that you don't have to always be like that, which means you can't definitively say our righteousness is as filthy rags. Like, to me, when I read Ezekiel and when I read Isaiah, I see the difference between clean and unclean. I see how God is upset with the nation of Israel because they have become unrighteous. I also agree when Jesus spoke to the rich young ruler, and Jesus say, why do you call me good? Ain't only God good? To me, you can take that a few ways. Some people would say that Jesus was trying to force the rich young ruler's hand to see if he would admit that you are calling me good because I am God, right? I agree with that. But also, it could be a difference between when you say good, right? God embodies good. You see what I'm saying? Because we are born in sin, we still have to struggle with sin, basically, right? But the Bible says the righteous man falleth 7 times, right? So just because you sin, that does not mean that you're not righteous. You see what I'm saying? Like, righteousness talks about like just following after God and obeying him. And sometimes we fall, but what's the intent? You see what I'm saying? Like, what are you trying to do? Is it iniquity? Is it like happenstance? Are you struggling with something? You feel me? Like, there's a lot of nuance that could go into what's righteous. But I think the concept of saying that we as human beings cannot be righteous just because we as humans, if that's the case, why are we even bringing up that word, bro? You know what I mean? Why are we even bringing up the word righteous, bro? I don't, like, in church, I don't hear people talk about perfection. Hey, let's be perfect. I don't hear people talk about that, because it's like, you can't do that. We can't do that because we are sinful. You know what I mean? Righteousness and perfection, they not equal. You know, they could be separate of each other. And so we see Eliphaz on that soapbox. And when you was reading, bro, I could be real. It was verses you was saying, I couldn't even listen because I just thinking, I was like, wait, what? Why why you lying there? Why you lying there? Like, what's your rationale behind that? You know?
And to me, verse 17 kind of explains why he lands there, right? And this is kind of the point I want to make. The problem with just like tradition in theology, right? Because again, we've been seeing this throughout this chapter as well. Eliphaz, Bildad, so far, even Job to a certain extent, they all had this theology that was passed down from the elders, right? Because here in verse 17, I will tell you, hear me. What I have seen, I will declare. What wise men have told, nothing hiding, anything received from their fathers. But so again, Eliphaz is saying, bro, I am telling you what the wise men have been saying, right? If we go back, fast forward, a couple thousand years to even when the Pharisees and Jesus, there were these traditions that were passed down that burdened the faith, right? You couldn't see past these traditions. And so right now, the tradition that Job, Eliphaz, Bildad, so far they're dealing with is the cause and effect relationship between wickedness and punishment. And this is something they can't see past because this is all they know. And so now it's like, because again, this is why Job is wrestling with this, right? Because Job, no, I ain't do nothing wicked, but I am getting what the wicked deserve. Job friends, again, telling them, bro, just repent for your wickedness and you'll be restored.
Yeah.
Right? And so again, it's like his friends, even though they argue this philosophically, they, in a weird way, they all want the same thing, but the end means still kind of different because Job want to clear his name, whereas they want Job just to confess his sin so they could be that Job could be restored. But again, this pattern of tradition, because they can't see past this black and white, because this was our view of God. This is what our ancestors believed God was, and now you saying something that goes against this. So how could you be right? Because it's been right for the last however many thousand years, however long, whenever this book was written, right? This has been right for the last X amount of years, but now you saying something that you didn't even believe a week ago. So how is this making sense, Joe? But now you talking very, very passionately, but I can't say that your words are filled with wisdom because your word does not fit into the worldview that we had for all these years.
Yeah, it's people who older than your father who have this worldview that you oppose. How could that be?
Yeah, bro, you little Johnny come lately and want to say you ain't sin. So I can imagine me being there, but come on now. Come on, cuz. We ain't gotta be under this tree, bro. If you just say what you, bro, you don't. Come on. Hey, I'd start calling off names. You remember Bob?
Yeah.
It's all, well, I just talking. I shouldn't even use Bob.
Hypothetically, yeah. We actually have a friend named Bob, but that's like a common name we just throw out.
Yeah, true.
I'd say Jimmy or something.
Yeah, Jimmy, right?
Yeah.
Remember Jimmy? We know Jimmy was teething from Susie, man. You see how Jimmy break his leg? All right, cool. Yeah. Cause effect. You remember John? We know John was sleeping with Sam. So we know John. He end up like he lose all the flock. Come on, cause and effect. Now you lose your children, you lose all your herds. So we know what you doing in the behind the scenes gotta be grievous, bro.
Yeah, but we can back into this equation, bro.
Bro, if they get this for this, and you get all of this, come on.
Come on, bro.
You ain't gotta lie to me.
Yeah. And I think Bildad trying to play, I don't say good cop, but he basically saying, bro, come on, dog. All us are sinners, bro. Come on. We all sin from time to time. Like, just fess up. And you know what and continuing on the cop analogy. Wait, this ain't Bildad. This is Eliphaz.
Eliphaz, yeah.
Bildad. Yeah, Eliphaz, right? Eliphaz is arresting Job for resisting arrest right here. You see what I'm saying? That's one of the most frustrating things to me when I see a video or hear about someone who get arrested for resisting arrest, because you just admit that you falsely arrested me in the first place, and that's why I resisted, and now you say, all right, now I can finally pin that on you. But if you wasn't picking on me and trying to arrest me for nothing, we wouldn't have been in this situation, right? Job petitioned them. Well, episodes ago, Job would petition them. Tell me what I do wrong, bro.
Please.
What is the sin? What is the sin? Tell me when I look away when something was happening, bro. You see what I saying? But now, Eliphaz, this is his second time talking. He ain't tell Job what he do yet. But what he saying now? He said, your words testifying against you.
Catch him on a technicality.
You catch me on a technicality now. You trying to tell me, oh, it's my words, but these words only come about because I was wrongfully arrested. You see what I saying? Like, come on now. Like, but I know I think I starting to see a little more holes in the argument. I think maybe as we progress in this book, I might really understand how they're gonna keep straying away from the right answer because their foundation was off. Because yeah, he take Job through this whole thing saying, bro, you was the first man who ever born it. You was the oldest. You gotta be. That sounds so right. That sounds like Bahamian sarcasm right there, bro. Like, I love it. You gotta be the oldest man living, bro. Because you talking like you was the wisest. But I can tell you, it's people among you. I know if he mean want to build out them if they was that old for real. But it's people who we be around who older than your daddy, bro. And remember, this can be times when people living there 400 or 500 years old.
Exactly.
Wait, if you 500 years old and you was a fool, but I know what to tell you, bro. Because you didn't see it all. But at the age of 500, you could have learned everything the hard way and still be toe-to-toe with some of the wisest people today, bro. Because you would have had all that experience to learn. You get what I'm saying? It's my hypothetical. But yeah, so he's saying, but it's people who older than your daddy, bro. And you telling them that they wisdom or their theology is off? Come on, bro, that don't make sense. What makes sense, Job? Fess up.
Save us all some time right here, man.
You talk.
You want to go to the next chapter?
Yeah, let's do one more.
All right. So, okay, that'll be verse chapter 16.
16, yeah.
All right. Then Job answered and said, I have heard many such things. Miserable comforters are you all.
He like, boy, what type of comforters y'all is? Y'all they come here to comfort me, or y'all come here to row?
What miserable comforters you are, bro.
Hey, dog, bro.
Shall words of wind have end? Or what provokes you that you answer? Every time I read this, I just start laughing. But what provokes you that you answer? I also could speak as you do. If your soul were in my soul's place, I could heap up words against you and shake my head at you. But I would strengthen you with my mouth, and the comfort of my lips would relieve your grief. Though I speak, my grief is not relieved. And if I remain silent, how am I eased? But now he has worn me out. You have made desolate all my company. You have shriveled me up and witnessed against me. My leanness rises up against me and bears witness to my face. He tears me in his wrath and hates me. He gnashes at me with his teeth. My adversary sharpens his gaze on me. They gape at me with their mouth. They strike me reproachfully on one cheek. They gather together against me. God has delivered me to the ungodly and turned me over to the hands of the wicked. I was at ease, but he has shattered me. He also has given me by the neck and shaken me to pieces. He has set me up for his target. His archers surround me. He pierces my heart and does not pity. He pours out all my gall on the ground. He breaks me with wound upon wound. He runs at me like a warrior. I have sewn sackcloth over my skin. I have laid my head in the dust. My face is flushed from weeping, and on my eyelids is the shadow of death. Although no violence is in my hands, and my prayer is pure. O earth, do not cover my blood, and let my cry have no resting place. Surely even now my witness is in heaven, and my evidence is on high. My friends scorn me. My eyes pour out tears to God. Oh, that one might plead for a man with God, as a man pleads for his neighbor. For when a few years are finished, I shall go away of no return. Mercy.
Yeah, brother. And that the way of no return to me, that is implying death.
Of course.
And boy, everything is death, you know. Boy, I ain't gonna lie. I just turned to chapter 17 just to see something. Bro, the last verse, this Job talking again, the last two verses in chapter 14 would says, I mean chapter 17.
But let's go through it, bro. It's only 16 more chapters.
Yeah.
60 more verses. My spirit is broken. My days are extinguished. The grave is ready for me. Are not mockers with me? And does not my eye dwell on their provocation? Now put down a pledge for me with yourself. Who is he who will shake my hand, who will shake hands with me? For you have hidden their hearts from understanding. Therefore you will not exalt them. He who speaks flattery to his friends, even the eye of his children will fall. But he has made me a byword of the people, and I have become one in whose face men spit. My eye has also grown dim because of sorrow, and all my members are like shadows. Upright men are astonished at this. And the innocent stirs himself up against the hypocrite, yet the righteous will hold to his way. And he who has clean hands will be stronger and stronger, but please come back again, all of you. For I shall not find one wise man among you. My days,
bro, what is going on?
my days are past. My purposes are broken off. Even the thoughts of my heart, they change the night into day. The light is near, they say, in the face of darkness. If I wait for the grave as my house, if I make my bed in the darkness, if I say to corruption, you are my father, and to the worm, you are my mother and my sister, where then is my hope? As for my hope, who can see it? Will they go down to the gates of Sheol? Shall we have rest together in the dust?
Again, see, it just ended with death, right? It ended with death. And how does he continue to describe death, right? The point of no return, right? Shall we rest together in the dust?
In the dust.
You know what I mean? And so, like, to me, he doesn't describe this thing in a very conscious way. And it's so funny because Sheol, it means hell, right? But it's not hell as in the ever-burning hell that we picture. But hell actually, there's multiple words used for hell. Sheol is one of them. It just means like the earth, the grave type of situation. You know what I mean?
The place of the dead.
Right. But it means like earth, like
like in the
that's what I
earth.
said. Yeah, like in that regard. And Job right now, it's a nice quick verse, but he basically saying, right, it's something he did say where he was like, are not mockers with me, and does not my eye dwell on their it's something he did say. I don't know if it was the last.
That's at the beginning. Are mockers with me, and does my eye dwell on their provocation?
I think about the verse after that. He said, now put down a pledge for me with yourself. Who is he who will shake hands with me? For you have hidden their heart from understanding. Therefore, you will not exalt them. I think he basically saying that, but I just sitting around a bunch of people who I can't even level with because y'all ain't here with me. You see what I saying? God harden your heart, Mercy. You see what I saying? Because y'all just don't understand. And because of that, God ain't gonna exalt you all because of this line of thinking. You see what I'm saying? And then if you're thinking he's speaking metaphorically, verse 5, it is frank. He who speaks flattery to his friends. You see what I'm saying? Even the eyes of his children will fail. But he who has made me a byword of the people, and I have become one in whose face men spit type situation, right? So he's saying, bro, but he who speaks flattery of his friends. I take that as saying, like, you getting off on your, like making fun of your friends. You see what I'm saying? And even if it ain't taken like that, I take that as saying you basically lying to make somebody feel better type situation.
I mean, that's what flattery is.
Right. And so, and even the eyes of his children will fail. But he who has made me a byword of the people, and I have become one in whose face men spit, my eye is also growing dim because of sorrow. So he basically, so eyes fail. I think he talking about blindness. I don't know if it's metaphorical or literal, right? But he's saying, bro, you could be the friend to tell me what I want to hear. You ain't doing me no favor.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all put me on Front Street to get laughed at and get spit on. Y'all also ain't do me no favor. You see what I saying? And there's one thing that made me laugh.
Verse 10.
Verse 10. He said, but please come back again, all of you, for I shall not find one man or one wise man among you. You see what I saying? Like, it's like, take a walk, man. Take a break. Go and come back. You see what I saying? Go and come back because y'all ain't making no sense.
He insulted them like they insult him.
Yeah, but the thing with Job, I know Job mean this with all he heart, bro. Some of them might only be saying this because they angry. You know what I mean? Like me and you, we could be in an argument, everything cool. But the minute I insult you, nah, the bets are off. Now you bouncing that back to me and we redding each other up, right? But it's
Getting
like
a little personal.
getting personal now, right? But you didn't have the intent of crossing that line. But because I crossed that line, now you retaliate type situation. I think that's how Job and his friends are. Job feel like that, bro. Job feel like, boy, y'all not wise, bro. And I tell you, and I know if they're using wisdom loosely to say y'all just don't know about spiritual things, or if that means intellectually, like y'all stupid type situation. But the fact of the matter is he's saying it's a disconnect with what y'all saying. Y'all ain't making sense, basically. Regardless how you see it, y'all ain't making sense. And they trying to spin it back on Job.
He's saying, but y'all ain't understand what I saying. And here's the thing, right? And this is the problem. How are I trying to say this? This is the problem with falling into just tradition in a religious sense or in a salvific sense, right? Because you end up doing things and believing things you don't even know why. Right? And so we see Job friends right now, they believe in this just because of this is the way we've always been doing it, right? But now something comes to challenge your belief, challenge your perspective. You're like, but I can't, error 404 it does not compute. Computer about to shut down. Like, what do you mean this is different? Because this is the way we've been doing it. But we're people older than your daddy, bro. How you can tell me they be wrong? Right. This is where we learn everything from. And Job saying, bro, clearly God is hidden the understanding from y'all heart. Because if y'all was as close as God as y'all think, y'all would probably be able to understand there's something supernatural happening right now. But y'all can't even see that because y'all can't even see, but I wouldn't say past y'all understanding. Y'all can't see beyond y'all own worldview to comprehend that something else different might be happening right now. And that's on y'all. And that's on y'all. But now to tell me that what I going through ain't different when I know within myself that, bro, I ain't do nothing to bring this about. And then you can't even rationalize why I trying to, again, talk to God myself to clear my name. Because what y'all coming here with, my boy said, y'all supposed to comfort my grief? Y'all making this experience, imagine you actually want someone to come talk to, right? You're going through a hard time, but you happy you have good friends coming to check up on you, bro. I've heard stories of people who gone through injuries and stuff, bro, and some of their best friends never ever call them during the period before or after, like, the injury happened, like, and there's like, I thought we was friends, bro. Right. You see a good boy calling you, come stop by just to crack jokes to lighten the mood. You looking forward to this, right? Yeah. Job saying, bro, this what y'all come here for? Y'all adding to my pain right now, bro.
Yeah, dog.
Y'all are adding to my pain. Y'all are adding to my grief. It is better that y'all just go away and we could run this back on a different day if y'all come back with a different attitude. Because right now, y'all ain't making sense.
Nope. Y'all ain't doing a pretty good job at comforting me, bro. I letting you know that now. And he vocal about that, though. That's the thing.
Hey, boys say, bro, if y'all was in this predicament, my words would have bring salt, like would have relieve your grief. Y'all add to minds.
Y'all adding to mine. Y'all adding insult to injury.
That is wild.
Y'all coming to hurt my feelings on top of everything I go through.
That's, oh my. All right, yeah, so What's your closing thoughts on this?
I think it's frustrating when I see. So all right. So this is the thing about Job, right?
Yeah, go
Job
for it.
is a long story, right?
Yeah. We
But it's
just
like,
about the halfway mark. I mean, we ain't even to the halfway mark yet. We like 45%.
right. And so it's like Job 1 and 2, things happen. But
Mhm.
since then to now, nothing has really changed. They still in the same predicament. They talking themselves in circles, bro. When I say nothing changed, I talking about everybody say they piece, and now they repeating the same thing over and over. Like ain't nobody even bringing up no new evidence now. You see, you catch what I saying? That's my opinion. You know, you all might disagree. And so because of that, it's like the story it progressing in terms of like books, chapters that we read, you know, but in terms of arcs, like arc 1, arc 2, arc 3, we still
It's the
probably
same.
smack dab in the middle of arc 2. You catch what I saying? And
Agreed.
so with that said, like our closing remarks, it don't really change.
No, it really don't.
Job wishes that he died. Job feels like he needs to have a trial, put God on the stand, and we'll debate this in front of people, in front of a mediator, right? Job's friends disagree. We hear multiple friends saying that they disagree. What's interesting is how they turn around and say, why we believe that you're wrong. At first, it was like, I see what you're going through. That's why you got to be wrong, right? Then it became, I can't remember the last friend we just went through. I think it was Zophar. Zophar was saying that, bro, the way you,
Eliphaz.
Eliphaz? No,
Yeah.
not this one, the one before it.
Oh, yeah, so far. My
Zophar,
bad.
right?
My bad.
So Zophar was saying that, bro, but just from how you talking, I know you wrong, bro. I can hear how you talking. I know you wrong, right? Eliphaz doubled down on that. He's saying that your lips testifying
Like
against you.
against you.
You see what I'm saying? It's like you basically admitting to all of your sins now. You feel me? It sounds like they grasping at straws in a way. You know what I mean? Because they saying, bro, only thing we have against you really is your frame of thought. You have to be immoral because you think this way. And secondly, let me prove to you that it is wrong to think this way. How can I prove it? Because no one else thinks this way. Bro, I get my MBA right now. This is something I never thought I would do. Music was my MBA. When everybody was sitting around getting their MBA, I say I doubling down on music, bro. All the money we could put into tuition, I put into music, etc. I don't regret it. I enjoyed my time, but now I had a different pace in my career, right? My teachers, they want me to write. I basically write in a paper every week, bro. Multiple classes, and they want me to write everything. Like if it rained today, they want me to write a paper on that, right? And it's so interesting because this school puts so much emphasis on formatting, APA format rewriting in, right? They don't want to hear your opinion. Anything you say, you got to cite that. You got to cite that source. But guess what? You can't Wikipedia it. Don't tell me what YouTube and TikTok say. I want to hear a scholarly peer-reviewed article on this exact subject matter, right? And then to make matters even worse, some of them saying, I want an article that was posted in the last 12 months on this. So you go and look up the peer reviews. You see people from the 80s saying exactly what you're saying. But guess what? Nope. That might be out of date by now. We want a brand new reference on that, right? And that's their way of validating that what you're saying is actually factual and not opinion. So because if you're trying to prove a point, they're trying to push you to right. If you're trying to prove a point, everybody have an opinion. But ain't nothing special about an opinion. Everybody got one. You see what I'm saying? That's like trying to brag that you could that you have skin, or you could grow hair, or you could smile. Everybody could do that. You say saying it ain't impressive, right? Show me how this has been a proven step. You see what I'm saying? If you tell me the sky is blue or the sky is purple, prove to me that the sky is purple. Show me other people that have tested this theory and have proven that this is right. That is what Job's friends are doing. The scholars of our time, the elders, they have already proved this. These are peer-reviewed articles or peer-reviewed references we are using right now. The elders, your daddy learned from them, our daddy learned from them. But the only way you could have actually proved that you was right is if you was the first man to ever live, because you would have had the most experience out of anybody, because you would have been the oldest, and you are not. You see what I'm saying? So because you have this line of thinking, you are wrong. And it is so crazy because in normal circumstances, when you tell me that I want you to tell me something, like when we have theological debates, Tell me what you believe from the Bible. Don't tell me Earl think X, Y, Z. Congratulations that you think that way. You see what I'm saying? But that is not, it's not fruitful for this conversation. Show me from the Bible. Show me from a verified source, right? And they accusing Job of doing that. They accusing Job of speaking from his mind. But you just think this, bro. And you have to be wrong. We have sources. We have sources. Bro, this book is interesting because it almost backwards, bro. Everything I know about Christianity and about like the Bible and spiritual debate is the opposite of what's happening in this book, where we have people who actually are learned. You see what I'm saying? They come in with their resources, and this is generally understood practices or generally understood way of life that you are going against. And I think it all boils down to not putting God in a box.
Exactly.
I have another thing to say on that.
Go for it.
All boils down to not putting God in a box, and it all boils down on respecting people's experience and relationship with God. While we was reading today, I was just thinking, boy, if somebody come to me and tell me, bro, boy, X, Y, Z about God, and they passionate about that, and I tell them, bro, I can be really wrong. You see what I'm saying? I can show you. Because like, let's say we having an open conversation where I can tell them right or wrong. I show you where it's wrong. But they telling me, bro, this the truth. This the truth. This how I feel, X, Y, Z. At some point in time, you got to be like, okay, bro, I respect your opinion, dog. Because I don't want to be in a situation where I'm like Job's friends, when I am so stuck in a theology or a mindset or a Bible text that I ignore what God bringing someone through. You see what I'm saying? Nah, that could be a little tricky because sometimes people trying to pull things outside of the Bible. Oh yeah, no. God tell me this was gonna happen because he showed me the tarot cards or the crystals. He tell me that this was gonna happen through that. No, it speaks not according to the law and to the testimony. If you speak not according to it, you know what I'm saying, you lie, no truth in you. It cannot be contrary to what God is saying. But my thing is, spiritual things are spiritually discerned. Sometimes our spiritual discernment ain't as tight as we think it is. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes we try to put ourselves on the level as if we think as we know as much as God knows. You see what I'm saying? There's gonna be nuances. There's gonna be things for you to learn. There's gonna be things for you to accept. So as Christians, as followers of God, we cannot be so wise in our own eyes. You see what I'm saying? To the point where we ignore truths or experiences that God put people through. After Job makes another request for his life to be taken, we hear from Eliphaz, who believes that Job is unrighteous, as are all men. He believes that Job's consequences are a direct result of his actions. But Job protests this once again. And he expresses the poor job that his friends have been doing at comforting him. But throughout this, Job still maintains his innocence. But Bildad and Zophar still disagrees. But we'll talk more about that on the next episode of A Breath of Fresh Air. Tonight's episode included voice acting by your host, Earl Roberts. Remember to go ahead and research on your own in order to get a more firm understanding of tonight's episode. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. You can follow us on social media at A Breath of Fresh Air Pod on Instagram and BOFAPOD on Twitter. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next week.